Hey everyone, and a video I've been thinking about the last couple of weeks because something is wrong in Massachusetts. I got into the Massachusetts case with Karen Reed. I saw a hearing, thought, that sounds weird. Then someone was telling me about this Turtle Boy character, and I started looking into him and finding out, reading some of his articles about how bad things really are in Massachusetts. Then Aiden started getting hit with all of these charges that to me is only happening because he angered the old boys club. But why is no one trying to break up this old boys club? And what I mean by old boys club, it's apparently a lot of badges covering for each other. If you do wrong, no matter if you are an online journalist, a mom, or a police officer, you should be punished. The only thing we have seen as a fallout from the Karen Reed trial is that Trooper Proctor got fired. Then we saw yesterday that Bukaki and DeChico was rehomed like Chloe, not to Vermont, but to a barracks where they can't really get into trouble. And people are saying, are this because of the Karen Reed case, or is it because they are also connected to the Brian Walsh case, where the same shenanigans went on like in Karen Reed? There's a big difference between Brian Walsh and Karen Reed, because seeing what I have seen, even though it might be tainted evidence, I think there's a pretty good chance that he might have done something. Not meaning that he should just be put in prison and have the door locked after him. It's always on the state to prove the charges against someone they think is guilty. But still, where Karen Reed was an innocent woman they tried to put in jail, this looks like, in my observation so far, a potentially very guilty man getting out of jail because of all the bad police work that happens. Why is MSP okay with this? Why is Massachusetts okay with this? The MSP I can understand because they just have a shitty culture at the workplace. But where are your politicians? Where are the outrage? Where are all the people in power who normally always go out there and say, oh, we'll hold people accountable? Doesn't happen in this case. If we go to the Karen Reed case, Proctor, who was the lead investigator, no matter what they call him, he found it appropriate to call her a whack job, said that she should self-delete, and he was texting people he was friends with and his family details about the case. That was okay for 2 years until it blew up on national television. And then he was put on leave and then finally fired. And what happened when the Karen Reed case was done? People are actually arguing that he should be put back in his job. A man who has no respect for anyone. A man who makes fun of people that he has the power to put in prison and say, I'm looking for nudes on her phone. A man who allegedly had a few drinky poos while working. You hate Karen Reed so much, you would rather have a police officer like that taking care of your potential cases. A man who has no respect for his job. That's a problem, Massachusetts. And I know a lot of you wouldn't do it, but there are some people with connection to the Popo who actually argue that he should have his job back. But Proctor wasn't alone in that. Yuri Bukaki, he was directly supervising Proctor. He admitted he knew about the text. He said, well, I got a notification. I didn't read it. BS. He got 5 days vacation. Oh, no. He had lost 5 days of vacation. And now, as of July 6th, he has been reassigned out of the Norfolk DA's office. He's not fired. He's just moved to some other place, so the heat hopefully will die down on him. We had Brian Tully. He's still on the payroll. We have Trooper DiCicco. He is a guy who allegedly saw a ring video that never was shown in court because it apparently didn't exist. He got moved yesterday as well. Not confirmed with where he's going, like Bukaki, but still. What signal does it send that all the officers who touched the Karen Read case, except the dead-end cop, all have had problems following the case? And why didn't it happen before the case? It's almost like as long as you wear a badge, they don't care. Another case that makes my blood boil is the Sandra Birchmore trial. And what's funny with the Sandra Birchmore trial is Michael Proctor, he was the lead investigator in the Read case. He also had a role in the Birchmore trial. Bukaki, also in the Birchmore trial. Kevin Albert, he's named in both investigations. Brian Tully, named in both investigations. Lieutenant John Fanning, he was the guy who didn't do his oversight duties in the Read case. He's also named in Birchmore trial. Morrissey, he is the prosecutor who let everything slide and who is the boss of this unit. Why is that all they got out of it? The Birchmore trial is probably the worst cover-up I've seen. Or if it's not a cover-up, it's police officers who are so bad at their job that they should not be allowed to be cops anymore. Matthew Farwell was charged by the federales. His twin brother, and as also a deputy chief, they have stepped back, but they're not charged yet. And Matthew Farwell still is not charged in the state. DA Morrissey still believes that Birchmore unalived herself, even with all the evidence from the feds. They don't care anything about what you can prove with evidence. They only care about protecting their own. And it makes me think, is there more out there? Are there more cops where you're thinking, is there a culture where they may be liking them a little bit too young? Is that the problem? Because we also had this from June 30th. Boston police sergeant charged with child rape. This is Paul Downey, a 58-year-old West Roxbury resident who was arraigned Monday in Dorchester for 4 counts of aggravated rape of a minor, 2 counts of paying for smacks with a child under 18, and 2 counts of enticement. He just had his bail lowered to $50,000. But that's another officer who also apparently likes them a little bit young, which is very troubling to me. That is this some culture you learn in the MSP, or are these just exceptional a-holes? And the last thing I want to point to is the cadet who died in training last year. Enrico Delgado Garcia, who was a young recruit who had been training and ended up severely injured, so badly that he died. Blunt force trauma, a broken neck, bruising in inside a state-run academy. What did the MSP do? Did they put in all the bells and whistles? No. They suspended the boxing program and promised they would review it. They put a special prosecutor on it. We watched the press conference, which was mostly, oh, we love Delgado, but yeah, who knows? It's been a year. It's been a year, and nothing has come forward. His family is still out there looking for answers. If they hadn't gotten someone to look at the autopsy, this would have been another person who got swept under the rug by the MSP. Don't talk about it. Nothing's going to happen. Talk about it. Yeah, you might lose 6 days. What is the problem, Massachusetts? Why do you allow them to go on like this? Sandra Birchmore, Karen Reed, the Brian Walsh case, the child rape in Boston, and Enrique are all cases that if one of them happened in your police department, you should be infuriated. All of these happened in Massachusetts, and no one really cares unless you are an online person like us. It's apparently okay to just cover everything up. As long as they wear blue and have a badge, they're cool.